10 Pokemon that exist in real life. Number 10. The Vileplume. Vileplume is a blue bipedal Pokemon with rudimentary hands and feet. It has beady red eyes and a massive red flower growing from its head. Vileplume's flower is said to have the largest petals in the world and is almost too heavy for the Pokemon itself to support. The rounded petals of the flower are red and covered with white spots, but it gets even better. This flower-headed Pokemon has two types, poison and grass. Despite its disarming smile, this little bugger is a powerful fighter thanks to its powerful spore attack. Surprisingly, Vileplume isn't the product of some deranged cartoonist imagination, it's actually based on a real-life flower. Sometimes referred to as the corpse flower, Rafflesia arnoldii is a rainforest plant that produces the largest single flower in the world. It grows in Sumatra and Borneo, and people call it the corpse flower because, well, it smells like rotting flesh. How is that for a spore attack? Number 9. Poliwag. Poliwag resembles a blue spherical tadpole. It has large eyes and pink lips. One of the first water Pokemon, the Poliwag has hypnotic swirls on its chest, swirls that according to the Pokemon Encyclopedia are actually its internal organs showing through its semi-transparent skin. The swirl looks clearer after it eats, and the skin is very elastic so it will not break if the Pokemon is bitten. The direction of the belly spiral differs by area, with the equator being thought to have an effect on this. It has newly developed legs that are poor at walking and no arms. Yes, apparently Pokemon have internal organs. In any case, the Poliwag was indeed inspired by a real-life tadpole. And indeed the tadpole's coil is made up of its organs, so the Pokemon creators clearly got the detail correct. However, instead of evolving into Poliwhirl, the real-life tadpole evolves into a frog. Yes, a bit disappointing. Number 8. Drowzee. This unfortunately named Pokemon is one of the originals. Drowzee showed up in the very beginning as one of the first 100 Pokemon ever devised, and he remains a favorite. I mean, come on, the dude evolves into Hypno. Drowzee is able to put people to sleep and can sense the person's dreams. This is so it knows what kind of dream it would be eating, and it eats dreams through the victim's nose, so it is said that Drowzee is actually standing over a person's pillow if their nose itches while they're asleep. Drowzee kind of looks like an anteater, but he's actually based on a rarer long-nosed animal called a Malayan tapir. Tapirs don't see very well, but they have incredible senses of smell and hearing. That might have been the trait that inspired Drowzee's psychic power. Also, Malayan tapirs just look like Pokemon, don't they? After seeing a picture of this pig-like creature, it's hard to imagine Pokemon not being invented. Number 7. Sandslash. The Sandslash is a tall and yellow creature with brown spikes or quills on its back. It has a narrow muzzle, almond-shaped blue eyes, and a thick tail. One of its most notable features is its massive claws. These claws are its primary weapons and are used for slashing, but they can also be used for burrowing. It's also capable of curling up into a ball to protect itself. While the Sandslash looks pretty awesome, its real-life counterpart is less impressive. It's a pangolin. Mammals with big claws, used for digging and fighting, by the way, and hard scales made of keratin. Wild pangolin populations are threatened by hunting and they're critically endangered. Their name actually comes from the Malay words for one who rolls up, and like the Sandslash, the pangolin can curl into a tight ball when threatened. Number 6. Gorebyss. Gorebyss is a pink serpentine Pokemon with a long, thin mouth. This pointed mouth is used to stab prey and drain their body fluids. However, it has also been known to feed on seaweed that grows between stones. Its pink skin becomes brighter in the spring and after it is fed. When you see the animal that inspired the Gorebyss though, you'll understand why it has a disturbing edge. This very Pokemon was based on an ocean animal known as the long-nosed chimera. It is one of those deep-sea creatures that seems to be purposefully designed to scare the pants off of humans. Interesting and terrifying fact about the long-nosed chimera, by the way, their eyes are typically black and empty. But if you pull them out of the water, the eyeballs change color. They become an eerie, fluorescent green. Number 5. Caterpie. Caterpie is a Pokemon that resembles a green caterpillar. There are yellow ring-shaped markings down the sides of its body, which resemble its large yellow eyes. Its most notable characteristic is the bright red antenna on its head, which releases a stench to repel predators. He isn't the most powerful dueling Pokemon, but it might be the cutest. This Shield Dust expert is also one of the most obviously realistic in the whole Pokeverse. Because you know, it's obviously a caterpillar. But what kind of caterpillar provided the inspiration for this entry-level catch? Caterpie is the cartoon version of the swallowtail caterpillar, more commonly known as the parsley worm. Parsley worms have a pattern of spots that we also find on Caterpie. Even more tellingly, they have red antennae sticking out of their snouts, just like Pokemon version of the bug. Number 4. Zigzagoon. Abundantly curious, wandering restlessly back and forth while rubbing its nose to the ground in search of something. It rubs its bristly back hair against trees to mark its territory and plays dead to fool opponents in battle. And at first glance, it looks just like a raccoon. While it looks somewhat like a raccoon, it's not quite a match, and the zigzag fur is a giveaway that Pokemon writers took inspiration from a slightly different source. This is the raccoon dog, indigenous to East Asia. It looks a bit like a raccoon, but its coloration can be closer to that of a fictional counterpart. Interestingly enough, it's treated as a potentially invasive species in some countries, which might explain why there are so many Zigzagoon all over the world of Pokemon. Number 3. Emolga. This electric-type Pokemon only has one form. It cannot evolve, and that is fine actually, because the Emolga is one of the cutest fantasy animals ever to show up in a video game, or video games. Emolga makes a surprise appearance in the Wii U version of Super Smash Bros. It sports a vaguely hood-like patterning of black around its head, with a spiky extension of the pattern above its face. It has yellow wing-like flaps connected to its 3-fingered arms. It also can use these flaps to glide from tree to tree, and it can discharge electricity while gliding. Its feet are wide and fairly small, and its black tail is in a jagged shape. It makes sense that Emolga is painfully adorable, because this Pokemon is based on a real-life rodent that makes everyone dissolve into uncontrollable awes. We're talking of course about the flying squirrel. There are actually 44 species of squirrels of the real-life flying type, and Emolga seems to draw from all of their cutest features. Number 2. Krookodile. Easy, the Krookodile was inspired by a crocodile. Everyone knows that. And you're partially right, since the name clearly indicates that the Krookodile is some type of reptilian creature. Krookodile has a thick maroon-colored body, black back, and white stomach. It has 5 triangular spikes on its back, 4 around the middle of its back, and a large one at the beginning of its tail. Each of the smaller spikes on its back are linked to black, triangular spikes that reach around its front, slightly overlapping its white stomach. We hate to disappoint you, but while the Krookodile does look a bit like a standard crocodile, it's probably inspired by a slightly different creature. We're talking about the gharial, an Indian fish-eating crocodile with a long, slender snout. At one time, gharial could be found throughout India, but unfortunately, their populations have been depleted by hunting and deforestation. They are currently listed as critically endangered. Number 1. Victreebel has a bell-shaped body with a gaping mouth that has 2 sharp teeth. Its semicircular eyes appear directly under its mouth, and it has several dark green spots on its body. Covering Victreebel's mouth is a leaf with a long, brown, yellow-tipped vine growing out of it. It is a genuinely terrifying Pokemon, and it is based on pitcher plants, a very genuinely terrifying real-life thing. For example, when you Google pitcher plant, the first suggestion addition is eating a mouse. The leaf over the Victreebel's mouth even matches up with those of the pitcher plants. Sadly, pitcher plants don't actually have fangs because not even Mother Nature is that sadistic. That's it for this video, guys. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the countdown with your notifications on, and comment down below saying I subscribed, and we'll respond to everyone who does. Thank you for watching, and see you next time.